What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, I didn't know they still made toys, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Gigapower's Grassor. I got a couple of things to say because I don't know a whole lot about what's going on, but it is interesting to me how we as a community react to, I don't know, outside stimulus. Like, we give Fans Toys a hard time about their release schedule. I've given MMC a hard time about their release schedule, and then here's Gigapower, who no one gives a hard time about their release schedule, and this Dinobot's like their second release in 2 years, a year and a half, something like that. Doesn't matter, don't get caught up in the details. It's been a long time. He comes with a ton of accessories. I'm just going to give you, as you can see, he holds his gun and sword no problem. They peg into his hand without the slightest bit of problem. Part of that reason is because the accessories are extremely plain. So the sword, or sword rather, is black cast, both sides, and it has a battery component that lights the sword up. But it's not in there right now. Translucent red, should light up fine, I would imagine. There's the screws to take it off and put your battery in. So there's this. It's good enough, I think. Then there's the gun, and let's see. There's no love in this. It's just black plastic, no extra detail. This translucent bit here, and then this lights up. Now, I'm assuming that the light up feature is what they think will sell this, but I mean, how often are you going to have your stuff lit up? There's plenty of line work, sculpted line work, great detailing that they put into the sculpt here. I would have liked to have seen that brought out in some paint. He comes with these translucent plastic covers. Now, these are to put on the tail if you want it to look G1 toy. That's a personal preference. They included that as an option. He also comes with two of these rocket launcher type things. There's the peg right down there. And they can plug into any available port. They show it in the instructions in Dinosaur mode, but I'm sure you could find a place for it in robot mode if this was your thing. It's not mine, but it's fine. Silver paint, otherwise black plastic. Same type of complaints here with me regarding the finished look. He comes with a red head, cartoon accurate, I believe, and then the visor comes off, but it's on there pretty good, and I don't want to. This is on loan to me. I should talk about that too. This is on loan to me from Hung from 215 Toys. He's a good dude. He's a good friend, and he always sends stuff to me if he can, because it allows him the opportunity to deal with less BS later on from people who say they didn't know what was going on with a toy. Red finish paint, gray silver finish paint. The blue visor is a finish paint. It all looks really good, and it lights up if you put the battery in there. Click on and off, and you just put the back piece on. He also comes with a red face, like straight face, which does look very bizarre and haunting when it's not on the toy, when it's just sitting here in my fingers. And then an angry red face as well. And, as if that weren't enough, he comes with these two filler pieces. If you want to have the dinosaur legs on the outside, these will fill in the hollowness on the inside. You just plug them in. A cool idea, I must admit. It's got a nice gray finish. It's got the red, blue, and black wiring painting as well as the lighter silver on there. It looks good. This was smart. I can definitely appreciate that. So let's get into this figure. There's a lot to talk about. This is the other head, the black sculpt with the silver face, red translucent piece in the visor to allow you to turn this one on and off and illuminate the face. Problem is that the swivel doesn't allow you to get any further than there. So in order to do so, it pops the head off of it. And then you can access the switch. And then you can put the head back on the ball joint and you're fine. So, I don't know. I dig the ideas of the eyes lighting up. But I guess I'm just not crazy about how it was achieved, ultimately. So, head, as you saw, was on a ball joint, limited up, limited down, and limited swivel. So, not really great articulation on the head. The Dinosaur head is the bulk of the reason why, right? And that's a slag issue that we deal with on multiple slags. The Dinosaur head, we'll talk about Dinosaur mode when we get to Dinosaur mode. How's that sound? Makes sense. Waist swivel. A little tight, but it's good. It's probably that layer of paint on there. It does have a red finish all throughout that is brilliant. Like, breathtakingly brilliant. And then it has this chrome here on the chest, and that looks good as well. Silver paint, black paint, and gray, I thought maybe. Details throughout. One of the problems with this is, that I've seen on this one anyway, it's got paint chipping on a lot of places. Here, here, there, and I'll show you some more as we go through. We have a universal joint at the shoulder that's ratcheted with fantastic articulation. And they do the sculpt to make it look like it's functional. So that's really cool. Blue chrome paint on the shoulder. It's got a silver finish and then a lighter silver paint added to it. That looks good. Ratcheted swivel as well, so you won't have any problems. Bicep swivel, so that works well. Single jointed ratcheted elbow on this circle, so you never lose the sculpt. Getting you 90 degrees. Really well done. Hand on a swivel, ball peg for a thumb, ball peg for all the base knuckles, and then 2 hinges for each finger. I wish they would have just gone hinges for fingers, because some of these ball joints are loose. And it's like, and they're loose depending on what part of the ball joint you're using. So like from some angles the fingers are loose and other angles they're not, and individual articulated fingers aren't my favorite anyway, but I've seen them done well every once in a while. And then we have this ball peg and then an additional hinge at the thumb. So very well articulated if nothing else. I don't think it looks all that good. And then this chrome on the foot, which does look good. Same for the other side. Now for the hips, I'm going to back out a taste. We have flaps to hide sculpt, which is cool. They're on hinges here, there on the back, if you couldn't see, and then here in the front, showing a ratcheted universal joint, but it's not the best ratchet. And this guy is heavy. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible ratchet at all, but it's not as good as that ratchet. That's not going anywhere, and it has less weight. This has a lot more weight and it doesn't feel as good on the ratchet, but it's still good enough. Sideways ratchet out to there, same sort of problem, just a lot of weight, and it's using the same kind of ratchet there, so same sort of problem. Thigh swivel, no paint on the thighs. What we do have is a single jointed knee. It doesn't get you barely anything because you have a whole lot of kibble on the back of this leg that they couldn't figure out a place to put anywhere. So that's unfortunate. That is a bummer. It is the biggest eyesore. We'll get to it a little bit more here in a second. What is cool about it, though, is that they have this knee plate cover to hide the sculpt of where the joint would be. So that was actually thoughtful. Kudos to them for that. Of course, it has the typical Dinobot problem where it has a tendency for the leg to want to flop inward. I'm not sure if I've seen anybody find their way around that. And it's just something that I think we have to deal with. Ankle tilt down is really just a toe tilt. Let's call it what it is. It's a toe tilt down and then a toe rocker to cheat as an ankle rocker, but I think that that's fine. Unfortunately, this piece here prevents the ankle rocker from getting a great angle. It gets you a fair angle, but not great. The wings are articulated on a double hinge here. So you get that movement. You also get on the second hinge, you get that movement, and then it has a third hinge here, so you can wrap that one around as well. And then that's the back. It's beautiful, but that tail really stands out to me. Really stands out. Maybe it doesn't bother everyone, but it really stands out to me. There he is with Optimus and Sideswipe. Now, this is going to come down to how you feel about this. Like myself, personally, I've been using as much as I can the Sunbow chart. We all know that's only accurate sometimes in the cartoons, and I get it. I feel like it's the closest thing we have to a standard, so that's what I've been trying to use mostly. So the Sunbow chart, if you see that, those are the Dinobots. This pink line is running through just about Grimlock's jaw. I don't know if you can see that or not. So it's safe to say that he's a head taller than Optimus, who is over at this end, whose head comes up to the top of the pink line. So Grimlock should be a head taller than Optimus. This fella is far bigger than that. Now, there's some people that just want their Dinobots as big as possible, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you want it, that's good. This might work well for you. I personally think it might be too big. The moment I had the first one, I felt like the robot mode was too big, and this one I feel like it is too big as well, for my sensibilities. But there are people that are like, you know, well, this one episode, if you look at it, the Dinobots looked way bigger than Optimus, so that's what I'm kind of going after, and that's cool. This might be that, but for me, it's a bit big. Let's get started. Open the chest up, get rid of the head straight away. And there's a little, you can't pull up any further on this thing. And if you see the scratch marks along the paint right there from grinding against this back piece, which is die cast, tuck the head in. Close it up. Open this piece up, trying to do our favorite thing in the world. Flip the hand in. There. And then close it up. Same on the other side. You'll notice right here at the top of the calf there's a little locking mechanism. Unlock that, which will allow you to bring the dinosaur foot out, and then you can close this back up and relock it and bring the tail down. We'll do that again on the other side. This piece has a tendency to come out while you're doing it. It's on the bottom, and that's fine. You can bring that out and wrap it around. Unlock here. Open this up. Get the dinosaur leg out. Close this up. Relock it. And bring the tail down. Real quick before we move on, this is how you would have it sitting if you wanted the dinosaur leg out, and then you would just put the filler piece in here, and those are the pegs for it. And just plug that in. Alright, so you want to spin at the thigh and bring the leg back around on itself. Kind of typical Dinobot transformation. A little squeaky there. That broke. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Make sure these hip pieces are down. And then you tab this stuff in. I didn't even put that much pressure on it. Now, see, now it's got me all messed up, but spin this around. And then close it up. That makes me very upset. I had to get my composure, pardon me. Flip the feet out, they're not easy either. This one actually is a lot easier than the other one. And then you can straighten this leg out. I already did the other one. And fold that down for the sculpt. Bring the tail down. This would theoretically interlock. You would bring this out of the other one. Spin it. And then that would plug in to the corresponding one here. For the wings, you just collapse them, which works really well, I think. There. Same on the other side. And that works well as well. Alright, and then for the mouth, which is a problem, as you'll see. Bring it down. You shouldn't have much trouble doing that. Spin at the ball peg. And then, I guess, wish for the best. So I'll get him cleaned up and we'll take a look at him. Here he is. Let's do all of the objective stuff and then we'll do the subjective stuff, okay? So it has these red horns, which is trying to, I guess, remind you of the toy, which had red horns. I don't know. And then I will say that on the red horns, I'm having a paint chip on this. The head itself, these are on hinges, so they move. All the frills move there. This is on a hinge. This hinge is a little poorly tolerance, and then this is on a hinge. The jaw we've already seen. It's like Hungry Hungry Hippos. And then we have the red eye paint, which does look pretty good. It's that chrome red eye paint. For the front, it's the same as the robot, so it's beautiful. Obviously, we can't do the rocker because that's where we put the hand, but that would always be nice. I've said the same thing about just pretty much every third-party slag I've looked at. But bicep swivel and then the elbow, it's all the same. You get a little bit of a toe tilt, the slightest. On the back, you have a ball peg. It's a huge ball peg up in there. And, you know, you get a limited range. You get front and back, no problem. Out to the side is fairly limited, but you don't need out to the side that much because the front legs can't do it, so it's no sense in having the back legs do it. You have this knee. It's very tight. It gets you to there. So, almost 90 degrees. I say let's give it to him. And that's about it. The paint is beautiful. Like all the red, blue, light, all that wiring stuff, all that stuff is gorgeous. For the back, we have a hinge here going back and forth, and then I thought you got more here, but apparently not. And I'm having a hard time with this staying all tapped together as well. But at first it felt very secure, but as I'm messing with it, it's feeling less and less so. Yeah, what I don't like about this, aside from it breaking on me, is I don't like the proportions of the head to the body. I feel like the head is too big. I feel like the head looks super deformed. Like I feel like it's these proportions. We're gonna be looking at this guy soon too. I don't like how big that head is in comparison to the rest of the body. That's just me personally. Your mileage may vary, and that's fine. The other thing that I need to point out is what happens if you bought this, like I did? Are they coming out with a non-chrome one? I hope so, because then what do I do with this? And I don't know if on the chrome one the reds are different, but the reds are certainly different here. I know that's been a concern in the past with Fansproject Dinobots, so I want to make sure I pointed out that it's the same thing here. At least with these two. Now, who knows? I don't know if the new one is more popular. This is much better. The slag is much better, the red paint. For this to have taken as long as it took, I'm not impressed. Look, what you're about to see is a candid phone call between me and Hung from 215 Toys. I look at 3 to 5 toys a week. Breaks happen. But everybody who has ever sent me something to review that wasn't mine has always been super cool about it when it has happened. Nobody's ever got bent out of shape. Now, I'm recording this after the phone conversation has taken place. And I want you to hear the phone conversation that I had live. It's a real conversation. I have no way to prove it. Actually, I don't know if there's a timestamp on this camera. I might be able to timestamp the camera and timestamp the phone call from my phone. But look, doesn't matter. I have no way to prove it that I know of. You just had to take my word for it. This is real. His reaction is real. And this is why I choose to keep the certain type of people around me.
Yeah, what's up, Bob?
What's up, man? I got some bad news.
Alright, yeah, hit me.
The tail on Grassor broke.
Alright, had a break.
To be honest with you, I don't even know. Like, I was transforming it, and I wasn't even touching it, that I remember. I got the video footage when it breaks, so I can look back through it. But I don't know.
Where did it break at, though? That's the main question.
At the, you know, like the tail is in 3 sections?
Yeah.
Between the first and second.
So, connecting to the leg or the tail connecting to the other tail?
Tail connecting to the other tail.
Alright, So the part with the swivel in it.
It has that part on it. I'll take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah, no, I got it. Can it be fixed, remedied, or no?
Nah.
Were you able to get your videos through?
Most of it. I mean, I'm going to make it through regardless.
Yeah. Alright. I mean, hey, it's not a big deal. Thanks for the heads up, though. I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
No doubt.
I had 1,000 feeders on it, so I couldn't tell you if someone, kind of, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if someone, I'm not saying one person did it, like, you know what I mean? Over time.
Sure.
Like, all the people just working it, got it loose or whatever.
Exactly.
So it's not a big deal. It is what it is, brother.
Cool. Final thoughts. You heard him. There's been a lot of people that have transformed this thing, so it may have something to do with that, and that's fine. But it is a very small piece of plastic that you have to manipulate right there. So they might want to think about that. Another thing that I heard is that this red doesn't match the chrome version of Gutter, his red either. But apparently Gigapower is taking that into effect, and they're sending it to a new place to have it repainted, I hear, and thus push back the delivery of this even further. I mean, what's the rush now? Do you know what I mean? At this point. So let's talk about the bad. I think the dinosaur mode looks incredibly stupid. I think it looks ridiculous. My original goal was to do the Fans Toys ones in bot mode and then these in dinosaur mode. I can't do that now. I can't do that. I can't have this guy displayed that way. And I don't want these guys in robot mode because I personally think they're too big. We'll get to that in a minute. The other problems are the jaw was too loose. Most of the tolerances are pretty good, if not perfect. There's other weird things, but like this might be off or not because they're going to have it painted somewhere else, but I don't know if you can see that, but like there's some weird texturing in that paint, the way that it bonded. That's a little bizarre. That's something that they hopefully it will be remedied at the same time. Let's see. The articulation is fantastic. The materials feel good, aside from how that happened. The materials feel good. It's got good weight to it. The robot mode looks cool. I don't like how the head pops off if you turn it too far. I don't, of course, like this jaw. I don't like the kibble here in the first place, even when it doesn't break. I don't like the red horns. I think the head on the dinosaur is way too big. I think the head on the robot is arguably too big as well, but not as bad. And I think the robot's too tall. If those things don't... Oh, one thing I do want to say. Aside from how the paint has cured to the piece, aside from that, the paint job here is absolutely phenomenal. Top 5 paint jobs I've seen on a third-party figure in terms of quantity and different colors and quality for the most part. It is chipping around a lot of areas, so once again, hopefully that problem will be solved across the board when they take it to a new place to have it finished. But yeah, I'm out. I'm out of this line. I'm officially out. So do I recommend it? No. If the things that I mentioned don't bother you, go ahead and get it. There's a lot of good things about it. Paint, articulation, materials, for the most part, and stuff like that. It's also, real quick, it's also very busy. It's very busy, and I think for me it's too much. It's overkill. It's overload. That's just a personal preference thing, though. But yeah, I was going to buy the rest of this line. Like you saw, I have this fella. I also think that it's really stupid that they released this looking a certain way, and then they released this looking an entirely different way, and I haven't seen any plans of them making one to match this. So what do they do about all the people that supported their product by buying this? Like myself. So that doesn't make me very happy. And it doesn't give me any sense of loyalty to the company at all. But I have to say, I won't be buying this line. If 215 can let me take a look at the other ones as they come in, I'll take a look at them for you guys, but I'm tapping out. One thing I did want to mention is they brought down the price point about $70. Look, just like anybody else, I like to spend less money. I like to get things for cheaper. But sometimes I wonder if you don't pay a different type of price for that. Also, I heard that there's a, you know that, like, what is it, the Zika virus? Like the thing that's making people's heads little? I heard that there's a new third-party version of that coming out, making their heads big. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.